Alright, so I've just finished Brago, yeah? Not even 30 minutes ago. He's done. Well, no. Going through him, I realized I really want that Archaeomancer. I didn't have an extra one that I could get up from my LGS. My LGS doesn't have any. My LGS does not have a common with 2 set printings, 1 dual deck printing, a master set printing, and a singular. They don't have any. They don't have any flat. They don't have any foil. They got none. 0. So yeah, I can go on Magic Card Market and order one, but I kind of want this deck for Astruzna in 4 days. So I don't, there are no Czech sellers with one, with a foil one. And I would rather pay for a foil one. It's €1.50 for the, I think, Ultimate Masters foil. The M13, M14 foils are about €5 each. But nobody in Czech Republic has those. So no fast shipping, no fast sellers. So what do? Well, first let's make sure I need the damn thing. To preface that, since I want an Archaeomancer, I figured I might as well put a Resurrection in the deck. It would go really good, and it will supplement the Karmic Guide. If I can't get the Karmic Guide out, or she gets exiled, or whatever, Resurrection is a good backup. And if I have Archaeomancer, I can get it back. And this dude, Scrivener, my beautiful foil Scrivener, which he's not Nizami because he's not a wizard, he's a townsfolk. He'd go really nice in there, but no, he's not a wizard. He only gets instants. Yeah, there is a Chronomancer, and I have not checked to see if my LGS has any of those, but is a Chronomancer doesn't do me any good in a blue-white deck, does it? Maybe some of you are getting where I'm going. So why do I want Archaeomancer? Well, for that, so I could put that in the deck. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh yeah. What other instants and sorceries might I want to get back? Well, that has its own flashback, so who cares? Might want to render somebody silent again, and I can blink Archaeomancer. So if I can keep blinking Archaeomancer, I can keep getting this stuff back. In fact, maybe I don't even need Karmic Guide at that point. Yeah, but this gets exiled when it rebounds, so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Ghostway. What else is that I might want to? Yeah, I might want to disallow something again. Let's go faster, faster, faster. Now this is a narrow card. I admit, this is a corner case, narrow, fuck you over there, hard card. It doesn't really fit the theme of the deck. It's just a random, hey, you've got a lot of green creatures. Poof. Put them back in your hand. Tokens too? Yeah, put the tokens back in your hand too. So, I probably won't need 2 uses out of that. But I've got a lot of instants and sorceries in here. Might need to foil somebody's plans more than once. Deny them. Go on an eerie interlude again. So there's a lot of instants and a good number of sorceries that I could want to do again. So Archaeomancer, yeah, maybe need to fracture somebody's identity a couple of times. Exile that permanent, everybody gets a token. Exile that one, everybody gets a token. You get a token, he gets a token, she gets a token, everybody gets a token. Except the controller of the permanent. They don't get jack shit. Now, if I hit somebody else's permanent, then they'll get a copy of that. So that is a possibility. Alright, so I want to put Resurrection in. Scrivener is not going to get me there. My LGS does not have any Archaeomancers. So to get one, it has to come out of another deck, right? Which kind of makes sense. I mean, I do want to balance out my decks, use the cards I have. I don't want to keep buying new cards and not using them. I've got a whole book over there of cards I don't use. I have a second book on the shelf of cards I don't use. I don't want to get any more cards in that I'm not going to use. With that said, I do have an order waiting at my LGS with another Urbrask, Goro, disciple of Ryusei, and something else I already own because I want to put in Saskia. I want to give her haste. Urbrask is the best creature to give her haste. Goro is the second best. So I am still buying cards, but I'll trade for those. I'll buy a list. I'll find some bullshit and turn it in. Something I don't play, something I don't care about. So anyway, where the hell am I going to get my Archaeomancer? Kenny has one. Kenny doesn't really need one. He makes good use out of it, but Kenny has an Eternal Witness. So since Kenny has an Eternal Witness that can get back any card, he does not really need the Archaeomancer to get back specifically instants or sorceries. Now then the question becomes, what do I replace it with? Right? What do I replace it with? Kenny's 5 colors. Kenny can have anything. Anything at all. There's the only limits are the ban list. That's it. And that I don't want to put in anything that has more than 2 color pips. So if it's white and then color, or if it's blue or if it's blue white and then colorless, that's fine. But if it's white, no, not unless I have a good way to cheat it in play, like Avacyn, when I cheated her in play with his ability. Now, that means that creatures would be okay for that. I'll make exceptions for creatures if they have more than 2 color pips. But instance interrupts, instant sorceries and enchantments, no. So we can have any, what do I put in? You can have anything. The theme of the deck currently is reanimation. I'm doing more with his reanimation ability. Here's some ideas I had. So I could put in a Coffin Queen after breaking up Corvald. I have this Coffin Queen that doesn't have any place to go, but she's been, the errata doesn't matter. She's now a zombie wizard. That really doesn't matter. I was thinking of putting her into Nalia. I was thinking of taking 3 cards out of Nalia and giving her another wizard, warrior, and rogue, so I have more chances to hit my party. But I could give her to Kenny as an idea. I could give him the Scrivener because he does have instants that I would want to get back, but there are more sorceries I would want to get back and reuse. So maybe Scrivener, maybe not. I don't know. It's an idea. I was thinking of this. I've got one of these in foil. This is a Temporal Distortion. A lot of you lads have never seen this before. 3 blue for an enchantment. Whenever a creature or land becomes tapped, put an hourglass counter on it. When's the last time you heard about a damn hourglass counter? Never. It's only on this card. Well, maybe there's another card with one. Anyway, so maybe there's another card. Probably is. So, permanents with an hourglass counter on them do not untap during the controller's untap step. And at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they remove all the hourglass counters. So basically, you get to use your creatures and or your lands every other turn. So, you tap a land, it gets an hourglass counter. Beginning of your turn, during your untap, it stays tapped. Then during your upkeep, the hourglass counter goes away. So next turn, it will untap. I thought this might be a good way to slow down my opponents. It's going to make it more critical that I get Seedborn Muse into play, because Seedborn Muse doesn't care about the hourglass counter. She says, hey, are people untapping? Yeah? Alright, untap with them. What are you waiting for? Do it. Alright, baby. I'm untapping with these bastards. So that's one idea. To distort time with Kenny. Then I have this Verdant Master. I should put this in the deck anyway. I don't know what I'm afraid of. So it's either 5 in green or 3 in green. So it's either 6 or 4. So search the library up for up to 4 basic land cards and show them off. Put one of them onto the battlefield tapped under an opponent's control. If I pay 4 for this, I go find 4 basic lands. I give one to an opponent tapped. I put 2 into play under my control tapped, and then the third one in my hand. Right? So if I pay 6, I go find 4 basic lands, show them off. I put 2 into play tapped, and the 2 into my hand. So this is 2 cultivates stapled together. This is cultivate and Kodama's Reach stapled together. 6, you get 2 of them. For 4, you get kind of a cultivate and a Sylvan Scrying for a basic. I'm going to think about putting this into Kenny later, but that's another idea. And you'd notice I've gone black, blue, green, red. Yeah, I thought I would show you one card of each color, give you some ideas, so you can give me ideas. What do you think should replace Archaeomancer in Kenrith? I thought about Jay Ballard Task Mage. I was going to build a red deck with her as the commander. I had it years ago. Didn't work. Maybe it'll work now, but probably not. So red 1 for a 2/2 Spell Shaper. Red, tap, discard a card, destroy target blue permanent. So I can throw away a big creature for Kenny to reanimate and blow up a blue thing. Or I can spend 1 in a red, throw away a creature for Kenny to reanimate, and deal 3 points of damage to something. Incinerate something, because it can't be regenerated. Or I can spend 5 red, throw away a big thing for Kenrith to reanimate when he comes back into play, and Inferno. 6 damage to every creature and player. I'm kind of liking this idea. I'm kind of liking the idea of Jay Ballard to replace Archaeomancer. But with that said, what if I got really nasty? What if I got really nasty and just kind of went to the dark side with what I can do with Kenrith? What if I put in Global Ruin? I've talked about it before. What if I actually did it? So 4 and a white, everybody chooses from the lands they control a land of each basic land type and sacrifices the rest. So for my opponents, typically playing 2 and 3 color decks, they're going to keep either 2 or 3 lands if they have the basic land types in play. For example, Cube playing Grayson's Tarn might keep a mountain and steam vents. Steam vents would be his island, or maybe an island and steam vents, and he would still have 2 blue, something like that. But everything else goes away. Me playing a 5 color deck, I'm going to keep between 3 to 5 lands. Because let's say I've got a forest, a plains, an island, and 2 swamps for 5 mana. Well, one of the swamps is going to go away, so I'd go down to 4. The question, and I can get I've got Sun Titan. Sun Titan can bring the lands back. The question is, what is this going to do to the group? We don't play mass land destruction. Nobody plays mass land destruction. Yes, I do have Back to Basics in Kenrith. It's come into play exactly once. The Genie has Blood Moon in his Duretti deck, and it's come into play a couple times and wrecks people until we can get rid of it. But nobody plays mass land destruction. We're playing more pointed land destruction. In fact, the Genie is trying to get everybody to play more of it because he doesn't like to have so many bullshit lands, as he calls it. but nobody's playing Mass. What if I played Mass? I mean, it's not Armageddon. I'm not wiping everything out. Is this going to set the stage for an escalation? Is this going to spark some kind of arms race? Is this going to make people rethink some of their greedier mana bases? Or is it going to do nothing? I don't play Kenrith that often. I've got 20 commander decks. I only play once a week. And usually, if I take 3 decks, I'll play 2 of them. I might play one once, and if it does really well and overwhelms the table, I'll go to the second one. And usually I'll play one of those 2 again, maybe because I want to see how it works with other decks. Maybe I didn't feel like it did as much as it should. But usually I don't play the 3rd deck that often. So even when I take Kenrith, it's not set that I'm going to play him. So this card is not going to come up that often. It's not going to be seen very much. The caveat being I do have a Vampiric Tutor in Kenrith, so if I do want this and I've got the Tutor, if I want to cast and I've got the Vampiric Tutor in my hand, I can go find it. I can go find it and I can set it off and see what happens. What do you lads think? What do you think I should do?